Hey, good morning, boys and girls. It's good to see you this morning. Thank you for tuning into the YouTube channel for us today. I wanted us to do some science things this morning. I told you yesterday, I gave you a little hint. I was outside and I saw my first butterfly, and I thought this would be a great time to learn about butterflies. So, before we start that, we've got to do what we always do. So let's stand, say our pledge to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you so much. Now, because we're going to be talking about butterflies today, I found a great poem that talks all about the 4 stages that there are to a butterfly's life. A butterfly starts out as a caterpillar. So our poem today is called 10 Little Caterpillars. So we'll find out what these 10 caterpillars do. The first little caterpillar crawled into a bower. That's like a bunch of weeds and plants and things. The second little caterpillar wiggled up a flower. The third little caterpillar climbed a cabbage head. The fourth little caterpillar found a melon bed. Some watermelon, that sounds good. The fifth little caterpillar sailed a garden pool. The sixth little caterpillar scurried off to school. The seventh little caterpillar met a hungry wren. That's a bird. And the eighth little caterpillar was frightened by a hen. The ninth little caterpillar fell into the sea. The 10th little caterpillar crawled up an apple tree and hung there patiently until by and by the 10th little caterpillar became a butterfly. And there it is. So that's what I wanted us to learn about today during our time. We're still going to go ahead and do some words and letters, a new sound, S-K, sk, sk. But I wanted us to have a little bit of science. And so I've got to show you this, our board, and it has on it the different stages of a butterfly. So the first stage is a mommy butterfly will lay her eggs. And she always lays the eggs on a leaf so that when those leaves or when those eggs begin to hatch, they're right there, right on that leaf. So the caterpillar can munch, munch, munch. He loves to eat, and that's his job when he hatches out of that egg. His job is to eat and to eat and to grow fat because something's going to happen. So he eats and he eats and he eats. And another thing is the mommy lays, because when caterpillars come out of their egg, they're so tiny. They can't crawl to anything else, or if it did, it would take them a long time. So the mommy butterfly lays the eggs on a leaf so that when they hatch, they're right there where their food is. Good thinking. So the caterpillar eats and eats and eats, and his body begins to grow and grow and grow. And that's his job. Just like when you were born, you ate and ate, and your body was growing, and now you're 5 years old, getting ready to go to kindergarten, and you keep eating good, healthy food, and you're growing, your bones are getting stronger, and so you're getting taller and bigger. That's your job. So, caterpillar eats and eats, munch, 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 munch on the leaf. And then he begins to find a nice twig or branch that he likes, and he connects himself to it, just like this. He's connected to a branch. And then something special begins. He begins to wrap himself up into what's called a chrysalis, or you might call it a cocoon. He wraps himself up in that. You can't even see the caterpillar anymore. He is inside there. And this is where all the wonderful things happen. This is where all the action takes place. His body begins to change. He doesn't have the stripes anymore. He doesn't have the wiggly body. His body begins to change. Something very, very different. And after his body has changed, this chrysalis or cocoon begins to open up, and he begins to push out, but not as a caterpillar. He begins to push out his wings. And now that caterpillar has become a butterfly. That's what happened while he was inside that house. A lot of people think, oh, the caterpillar, he's just in there resting and taking a nap. Well, he's inside that cocoon, but there's a lot of things happening. He's not just resting and sleeping. His body is actually changing. And so one wing, the wings come out, and when they come out, they're stuck together. Those wings push out of that cocoon. And then he has to rest. Now is when he does his resting, when he pushes out of that cocoon. And so he rests for a while, a couple of hours, and then he begins to pump blood into those wings so that they can separate. And now the butterfly can move those wings and begin to fly. He gets those wings working. And when I was reading about this, it says that it doesn't take them long, maybe a couple of hours, to figure out how to fly. And then what does the mommy butterflies do? They live for several days and weeks, and then it's time for them to lay the eggs again. So they are out looking for a good leaf, the kind of leaf that they know that their little baby caterpillar will like, and they lay the eggs, and then the caterpillar hatches out of the egg, and then he finds a limb to spin his chrysalis, and then he comes out as a butterfly. And it happens over and over and over. It's the stages. There's the 4 of them. And it's a big, long word, boys and girls. It's called metamorphosis. Can you try and say that? Metamorphosis. That's the science word that describes all of these things that happen. It's the changing of a caterpillar into a butterfly. And the Bible says that when we ask Jesus into our heart, it's kind of a metamorphosis too. Paul says that the old things, when we ask Jesus into our heart, the old things are passed away and all things become new. Meaning we don't want to do the old things that we did. We don't like to say unkind words or be disobedient. We want to be new. We want to be a new person, a better person. When Jesus comes into our heart, he changes us to be a person that would want to love God and do the things that would make him happy. So when you see a butterfly this spring or this summer, try to remember those things that we talked about. The metamorphosis, the egg, the caterpillar, the chrysalis or the cocoon, and then the butterfly. Those are the 4 stages, the 4 parts of the metamorphosis of a butterfly. So I saw one the other day and I was so excited. And I thought, oh, I can't wait to tell the boys and girls we need to talk about that at school. So I was so glad that I had brought with me our flannel board and then the pieces to tell the story of the butterfly. And then I found the poem about the butterfly. So it all went together. Well, we've got another set of letters to learn about. S and K. Now I put this one back up. It's SL, SL, because we had been playing with some, and I didn't know if you had been playing with some of this either. Slime, SL, SL. Have you played with some of that slime? Remember, it has the silent E at the end. So that says I, you have to make your long sound. So I put this word up here to see if maybe you had played with some slime while you've been at home over this not being able to come to school thing. So I put that up here. But our letters today are S and K. Sk, sk, sk. So here's silent E. So it tells this letter, A, to say its name, A. So we have sk, A, t, skate, skate. There are a couple of kinds of ways you can skate. You can ice skate, or you could roller skate. Now the ice skate, I don't know if you've ever watched them on television. Oh my goodness. They skate on the ice and they jump and they twirl. I don't know how they do it. And they come down on a little blade. That's what that ice skate is. Or you could roller skate. Miss McGuire used to do that when I was a teenager. It looks like a boot and it has 4 wheels on it, and you just skate down the street or go to a special place where they have a good wooden floor, a roller skating rink, or you might kind of now they have what's called roller blades, where they have the wheels, but they're in a line like an ice skate, but they have the wheels. That's a different kind of skating too. I never learned how to do that. All right, let's take another look at SK. Sk, sk. Now there's only one vowel in that word. So that means it's going to say its short sound. So short I, what does it say? I. Sk, I, n. Skin, skin. You have skin all over you, don't you? Our skin is the outside layer that protects our body, what's on the inside. Skin. And sometimes what happens when we fall, when we're riding a bike, or if we are skating, sometimes we scratch our skin, don't we? So always be careful of that. All right. Speaking of being careful, if you are skating, you want to always wear a helmet, because this next word, it's what helps to protect our brain. And that is one vowel, and then, oh, look at it here, 2 L's, ul. So we have SK, ska, ul, skull, skull. That's that bone that covers your head, your skull, and it protects your brain inside of your head. And that's why when you are riding your bike, or if you're outside and you're skating or rollerblading or what, that you wear that helmet to help protect your skull, because your skull then protects your brain. So very important, boys and girls, always be safe. Skull, skull. Or maybe you've seen a picture of a skull whenever you've read a pirate book. You know, a lot of them put a skull on their flag. Arr, mateys. So that's that word, skull. All right, this one is an animal. Oh boy. Ooh, smell. Can you figure out what it is? All right, let's look at our word. There's SK. There's our one vowel, so it's going to say and then NK, nk. So we have sk, nk. Skunk. Yeah, They do not smell good, and they have a smell all of their own. If you're driving one day and you have the windows down and you smell something pretty bad, chances are a skunk had been around. They do not smell good. All right, now this one everybody knows. It's that favorite candy that we would pass out if we had a treat that day, or remember when we would walk in the halls and stayed in our straight line, everybody got one of these. It has one vowel, so it says I. Now there's one at the end, there's E at the end, but it's silent. So we have Skittles. Skittles. That's everybody's favorite. And then everybody had a favorite color, Skittle. Yeah. The red was cherry, the blue might have been the blueberry, green was lime. So all the Skittles had a different flavor to them. So that's a good word, Skittles. All right, let's look at the next word. Now I don't see a vowel, but I see Y. And remember we learned that Y sometimes makes the long I sound, and that I is your vowel in this word. So we have sk and then I, sky, sky. When you see the butterflies flying, where are they? Are they flying through the sky? Or do you look up into the sky and see an airplane or see some birds flying? A beautiful blue sky. All right, last word, and we are almost finished for the day. There's S-K, sk. All right, and I, it's saying it's short sound because it's the only vowel, and then it ends in a P. Sk, I, p. Skip, skip. I would see a lot of you doing that when we were at school, when we'd be outside on the playground, skipping. Yeah, it's not really running, it's not really walking, it's kind of in between. A skip, skipping. So that's always a fun word. Do you skip at home when you're outside? I hope so. That's always fun. All right, so we had a fun slime word, and then we ended with another fun word, skip, like we do outside. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to send a note to moms and dads, and I think tomorrow we're going to try in Zoom again one more time, and I'd like for you to try and think of something that you learned that was your favorite thing, or one of the things you learned. What was your favorite thing at school? And we'll have a little share time. I think I might try and ask some questions to see how much you remember. And so we're just gonna have a quick little Zoom time tomorrow to visit with everybody. And then on Friday, I've got a story that I want to share with you, a story about this thing right here, Miss McGuire's chalkboard. So I will see you soon, probably tomorrow on the Zoom, and then we'll have our story on Friday. Have a great day. Remember that Jesus loves you, and so do I.